delayed block. And this might get me in a little bit of hot water. So imposter syndrome, that is something that is a hot topic, especially if you're in the coaching space or the personal growth and development space. And imposter syndrome is actually, I'm going to share an article with you because some of the things I'm going to talk about, these are not actually it's not actually my research or my words, but so I want to share the actual article with you. But this imposter syndrome is when you are trying to put together a program, a product or service, and you don't feel, it feels like no matter what you put out there, it's not good enough. That when people find out what you're actually like, who you actually are, how you can actually help them, it's not going to be good enough. That they're going to think that you're a fraud, that you're a fake, that you're a phony. And so it creates a fear, and it actually holds us back from being successful in our business. So I want to go through these really quick. And like I said, I'm going to put the article in the chat so you can check it out for yourself. But there are actually 5 different types of imposter syndrome. And we're going to talk in just a few minutes about how imposter syndrome differs from being a liar. But for right now, let's talk about these 5 different types of imposter syndrome. We have the perfectionist is number 1. And this is somebody who thrives just in, if I want it done, I want it done right. I've got to do it myself. If I have to delegate to somebody else, I'm always disappointed in how the results come out. And I like my work to be perfect. So if that sounds like you, give me a perfectionist. If you're a perfectionist, let me know in the comments. And this talks about, learning to take your mistakes in stride and learning that life is just the natural process and that we all make mistakes and that it's okay to make a mistake. Because if you're a perfectionist, a lot of times you don't feel like it's okay to make a mistake and you're going to be voted off the island if you make any type of a mistake at all. Number 2 is the superwoman or superman type. And these people, it's like there are workaholics. They try to overcompensate by working harder. They work harder than everybody else. They get stressed. They don't know how to relax and have downtime. They don't have hobbies or passions because they just work all the time. And usually their validation is coming from their work. Okay, so it's not that they really enjoy their work, it's the act of work that they are in love with. So for that particular type, it's a process of learning to be content and happy with the work that you've done instead of always striving to do more and more and more and more and more. Number 3 is the natural genius. These are people who are just naturally good at what they do. They're used to excelling without having to put in a whole lot of work, a whole lot of effort. They don't typically like to have a mentor because they like the way they do it. They want to do it the way they want to do it. And they can handle it on their own. The other key thing about this particular type is that they're not comfortable trying something that they're not great at. If you're not just naturally good at it, they don't want to do that. So if that sounds like you, maybe you're a natural genius. All right. And so to move beyond that, again, we're looking at things in terms of a process and that we are, growing and getting better all the time rather than just being born with that instantaneous, just being good at everything. Type number 4 is the soloist. These people are very independent and they like to do everything on their own. They don't need anybody's help. And so they just like to do everything their way on their own by themselves. And so, really having to build a business that requires a team or anything like that can be a struggle. And then number 5 is the expert. And this person, this particular type of person who struggles with imposter syndrome, they get their validation from what and how much they know or can do. Their fear is that they're going to be exposed as being inexperienced, that they're really a novice, that they don't really know enough. Okay, so somebody like this, you're not going to, the way this would show up online in your business is especially doing social media posts, and you see someone who posts something that is in your target market and you won't reply to them because you're not sure you're good enough, that maybe you don't meet, if you're looking for a job, or not looking for a job, but like maybe somebody's looking for someone with a particular skill set, you won't approach that person, you won't talk to that person because maybe you have 4 out of 5 skills instead of all 5 skills, right? So, and this is for this person, you know, we just need to remember that there are different levels of learning, and that it's always, thanks be to Google. If you feel like there's something you don't know, one of the key as a nurse in the medical field was that you don't have to know everything, you just have to know your resources. And so that was the big thing, because if you think about what does it take to take care of every type of patient that could possibly walk through a hospital door, there's no way one person's brain can house all of that knowledge of everything that could possibly go wrong with in every particular person. So one of the things I was always taught is you don't have to know everything, just know your resources. So, you know, where do you find that protocol? Where do you find that procedure? Where you do need to know the basics, obviously, but there's always a resource that can help you. So we have Google, we have different places where we can research and gain additional information in the time that we need it. All right. So those are 5 fun things. And like I said, I'm going to post this article for you in the chat so you can read it through yourself. But I hope that's given you a little insight and a little different view of imposter syndrome. So let's talk just very briefly about liars. And I think the way that we check this is, what is the intention? And it will take some time for you to you know, sit and just kind of lean into this a little bit, but like, what is the intention of your heart? And that's really where it all starts. What's the intention of your heart? What is the intention that you're putting out there? Is it to be deceptive? Is it to gain in a way that you truly cannot, it's not a win-win for both parties? Are you trying to get the upper hand and take the gain all for yourself, and you know the other person's going to get the short end of the stick? So I know that's not a long elaboration on that side of it, but that's the whole key to it, right? There is it's called the novice to expert continuum. And as we go through that, we become more and more proficient. Our confidence continues to grow. We continue to get better in our skill. And so all of those types of imposter syndromes, we can work through all of those, but you can't always work through when your heart is in the wrong place. Okay, so you've got to get your heart right. And when your heart is right and you know you want that win-win for both you and your client and the people that they're going to be serving, then everything else can begin to fall into place. And you know what? It's okay to ask for help too as you're navigating this, and have somebody come alongside you and make sure that you do have that check and that you do have your heart in the right place. So I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments in the chat. And I'll see you soon. Bye.